The role of the Chief Technology Officer, or CTO, is going through a massive transformation. It's not just about managing tech anymore, it's about driving real, tangible business growth. In this explainer, we're going to break down the modern CTO's playbook and give you a framework to turn your tech leadership into an absolute strategic powerhouse. So let's start with a pretty fundamental question every single business has to ask itself. Is your tech leader a cost center, or are they a growth engine? The answer to that question, well, it really defines your company's future, and it's the core idea we're going to dig into today. And the contrast here is, well, it's night and day, right? The old school view of a tech leader was basically about keeping the lights on, managing servers, overseeing engineers, a necessary cost. But the modern CTO, that's a completely different role. They're shaping the vision, they're driving innovation, and they are 100% aligned with growing the business. It's a huge shift from playing defense to playing offense.
Okay, so this brings us right into the first part of our playbook, the CTO's new game. This is all about making that absolutely critical move from just leading a tech team to becoming a true strategic partner to the business. So why is this shift so urgent right now? Well, because in pretty much every industry today, technology is the competitive advantage. The CTO is on the front lines, navigating these huge disruptions like AI and the cloud, and they're the one bridging that gap between the big picture business goals and the engineering teams who actually have to build it, all while juggling risk and scale. This isn't just a title change, it's a complete redefinition of the job. So, how do you actually build a tech organization that can do all of this? Well, that's where our central framework comes in. The 5 strategic pillars. We're going to walk through each one, giving you a complete guide for how to structure a modern, high-impact technology organization. Yep, just 5. These 5 pillars are the foundation for absolutely everything that follows. Mastering them is the key to transforming technology from just a support function into the core engine of your business. First up, pillar number 1, strategic alignment and vision. Look, tech strategy just can't exist in a vacuum. It has to directly support the big business goals. And here's a simple test. Can you draw a straight line from every single major tech project back to a specific company objective? If you can't, it might just be a distraction. Next up, pillar 2, architecture and platform decisions. This is where you make those huge, foundational choices like your cloud strategy, your tech stack, your core platforms. And believe me, these are not just technical details. These are the decisions that determine your company's future agility, its ability to scale, and its resilience for years to come. Pillar 3, this is the engine room, engineering excellence and delivery. This is all about building high-performing teams and creating a reliable, efficient pipeline to ship quality software consistently. This is where you measure what matters, using frameworks like Dora to track those key metrics for speed and stability. Now, pillar 4 is all about looking ahead with innovation and emerging technologies. A strategic CTO doesn't just manage what's happening today. They're actively scouting the future. This means having a structured way to evaluate and adopt game changers like AI, not because they're shiny objects, but as real tools to create new business opportunities. And holding this all together is our 5th and final pillar, governance, risk, and operational foundations. Think of this as the bedrock of a scalable tech organization. It covers all the essentials: cybersecurity, managing that dreaded tech debt, optimizing costs, to make sure that as you grow and innovate, you're also stable and secure. A really practical tool for this is something called the Horizon model. It's a simple framework that helps you balance your innovation budget. Horizon 1 is all about keeping your core business healthy. Horizon 2 is for exploring adjacent growth areas. And Horizon 3, that's where you place those bigger, game-changing bets. This makes sure you're innovating without accidentally starving the core business that pays the bills. Okay, so that's the strategic framework, but theory is one thing and action is another, right? Let's talk about what you do on Monday morning. Let's get into your first 90 days. This is an actionable roadmap designed to build immediate momentum and, just as important, credibility. So here's what the journey looks like. In those first 90 days, you are laser focused on assessing where things stand, getting aligned with the business, and, this is key, nabbing a few early wins. Over the next 9 months, you start to scale up. And in year 1 and beyond, it's all about measuring real business value and making that excellence the new standard. So what do you actually do in those first 90 days? Well, it really comes down to these 5 key actions. You listen and learn by meeting with everybody. You audit the tech so you know exactly what you're working with.
You define just a few high-impact goals. You deliver a visible win to prove you can execute. And you establish metrics right away so you can actually measure progress from day one. Okay, this brings us to our final section, winning the long game. This is all about making sure your strategic transformation actually sticks by measuring success the right way and knowing which common traps to sidestep. You just can't measure a modern CTO with old-school metrics. Success isn't just about how much code you ship. It's a balanced scorecard. You've got delivery speed, actual business value, cost efficiency, how you're managing risk, and the return you're getting on your innovation bets. You have to measure what matters to the business. And here are the traps. These are the things that can completely derail this whole transformation. Tech getting disconnected from business goals, letting tech debt spiral out of control, having no clear metrics, and failing to build a strong culture. But for every one of those pitfalls, there is a clear avoidance strategy. You stay on track by starting with business value, dedicating resources to that tech debt, investing in metrics early, and building strong, diverse teams. And this really brings us to a super important takeaway. You can have the most brilliant architecture and the most sophisticated systems in the world, but they mean absolutely nothing without the right people and the right culture. At the end of the day, strategic technology leadership is all about empowering teams. All right, we've walked through the vision, the framework, and the roadmap for transforming the CTO role into a true strategic powerhouse. So the only question left is, what's the next play you're going to call from your book?